This is the Conscious Hour, and this is a continuation of Jeffrey Sachs, and we're going to have J.D. Vance coming on next. Pay attention to what Jeffrey Sachs is saying, and remember one thing. Iran is sovereign, and some foreigner is screwing up its economy, starving the people out, bringing in Mossad agents to stir up unrest, and the country's only 5,000 years old. But Netanyahu runs America, folks, and we're paying for it with our tax dollars in the trillions since we've been married to Netanyahu.
Is in peaceful diplomacy, which is not what Israel wants. Israel wants the U.S. to be in a war. And if we do get in a war, thank Israel for that, for the mess that we will get.
Here is the cheerleader of the American drumbeat, which, as you know, I know you do a lot of traveling, so maybe you don't know this, is ubiquitous in the American media as we speak about how dangerous Iran is. This is absurd for me even to say it, but I'm quoting somebody else, as a national security threat to the United States. Watch this. Cut number 2.
So we're going into J.D. Vance, and I want you to watch how he talks. Watch how he rolls his eyes. Watch how he states facts. I call it an iambic pentameter. There's a rhythm to this propaganda. Watch Netanyahu, how he speaks. But watch J.D. Vance. He's directing you to believe something, and he's covering up for the fact that we, the taxpayer, have spent trillions of dollars supporting Israel, and look what they've done to our country. They own 93% of our elected officials.
Chris.
I think it's very important for the American people to appreciate
it's
one of the most hostile and also one of the most irrational regimes in the world. You can't have people like
most hostile. When's the last time Iran raided a foreign country? You couldn't find it in history. Current history doesn't happen.
That have the most dangerous weapon known to man. It would be awful for our security. It would be awful for the future of our children. That is the goal of the President of the United States, and he's got a lot of options and a lot of tools to make sure that doesn't happen.
So he doesn't want us to have nuclear weapons because he's afraid, or Iran to have nuclear weapons because he's afraid that Iran's going to bomb you? No, Iran doesn't want nuclear weapons. Iran has no desire for nuclear weapons. They process uranium for nuclear power and radioactive isotopes for cancer stuff.
Everything is on the table. We certainly want Iran to stop being state sponsored terrorism. They're one of the world's largest state sponsors of terrorism. There are a lot of ways.
Well, let's reflect on those. The largest state sponsor of terrorism. Look at how he looks down. He doesn't look at her. Who is the largest terrorist organization country in the world? Who's invaded more countries than any country of the world? The United States of America, Israel. It's a fact, folks. Every war that was created from Vietnam on was based on a lie, and it was Mossad and CIA.
They endanger America's national security, but the most important way they could is if they acquired a nuclear weapon, and that is the red line the President of the United States has consistently said. Yes.
Danger to the United States if they receive a nuclear weapon. Well, they aren't going to receive a nuclear weapon, so why invade them? Why harass them? Because you want to take over, because you want to control the oil, because you want to control the resources. The country's 5,000 years old. They have 100 million people there, and we just haven't conquered it yet. It's been sitting there, and we've been waiting. Well, you know what they did? They pissed off everybody. So even the Iraqis will come in and fight against the United States of America. The seeds we sow will come back and bite us in the ass if the United States decides to move forward.
Of course, the Iranians say that they're not interested in a nuclear weapon. We know, in fact, that's not true. They have shown a number of things that make it clear that they're interested in acquiring a nuclear weapon. Our goal is to make sure that doesn't happen. And again, the president has a lot of tools in the toolkit to make sure that doesn't happen.
Oh, you see the lies? A lot of tools in the toolkit just to make that doesn't happen. Excuse me. You just made up the biggest false farce on television. Let's see what Jeffrey Sachs has to say. This is just cracking me up, this stupidity of these J.D. Vance.
You know what? I just want people to understand how incredibly stupid American leadership is, because we seem never to be able to think through how to get what we say we want. This reminds me so much of also the debacle with North Korea, because back in the 1990s, North Korea was uh, ostensibly aiming towards a nuclear weapon, but they said, we'll negotiate with the United States. And negotiations were going on. And we actually made some promises to North Korea about peaceful nuclear energy and so forth. And when George Bush Jr. came in and his advisor, John Bolton, they said, no, we're not going to do any of this. You can't trust them. We're going to put maximum pressure. Of course, the result was completely the opposite of what they wanted.
So think of this: Israel's behind it all. Israel Mossad, Mossad in Israel, Israel CIA, all the same. They are in the terrorist business. They go in and invade foreign countries, just like they did Iraq, just like they did Afghanistan, Somalia, and name them, Libya, Lebanon, and just they keep going on. This is the war machine. You Americans, we Americans know that we're in wars constantly, more than any country in the world. And then we bring our veterans back. We don't give them due respect. We don't give them the treatment they need. They can barely survive. Many of them commit suicide or get on drugs. Because of why? Because of the military industrial complex, which are corporations that want to make profits, and they use our kids for collateral damage. Have we had enough of this bullshit? I mean, this is like an old movie. And so sometimes you just say, just blow the fucking world up. Let's start all over again. I'm being sarcastic, but it's about time we come to our senses. And then I get on these TikTok conversations, and I'm shocked how stupid the younger generation is. And I'm not saying they're dumb. I'm just saying they were never educated, because the education system that I got was propaganda. But the education that the younger generation got was, oh, stay away from any history, stay away from any facts. We're going to teach you what you think, we're going to dumb you down, and we're going to keep you focused because we, the Zionists, have this huge agenda we have to accomplish. Take over the world. Look at how it spread. It's like a virus all over the world. Zionists. Yeah. And they mean nothing good for anyone. They want to enslave you. Look what they're doing in the United States. They're setting up concentration camps. Why in the hell are we setting up concentration camps, folks? Why aren't we looking at our focus right now in the United States and what Trump is doing, what the National Guard should be in the streets protecting us, upholding the Constitution, and they aren't? Why hasn't the governors of each state called out the National Guard? Why hasn't the progressive members in Congress brought the National Guard in and say, you took an oath to uphold the Constitution, now uphold the Constitution? But look at, we aren't. We're playing politics, and the clock's ticking. This is the Conscious Hour. Thanks for tuning in. Please share this video. Pick up the phone. Call your congressional representatives. Tell them one thing. Get the National Guard out there. Shut them down. Do not spend any money building concentration camps in the United States, and investigate every one of the concentration camps that they've already created and figure out where the people are and get a full accounting of everyone. Because there's people out there that haven't seen their families for a year. They have no idea where they are. Can you imagine living in that kind of state? And then we're sitting around going, well, we don't know what to do. I don't want to get involved with politics. Folks, you need to get involved with politics. You need to read your elected officials the Riot Act and tell them to shut down these concentration camps and tell them to get the National Guard in the streets protecting our rights. This is the Conscious Hour. It's your Conscious Hour. It's our Conscious Hour. We need a conscious revolution, don't you think?